Thank you, Mr. Scheer. First of all, I would like to thank you for your time, considering the national politics and election time. It is an honor to speak one-on-one with you, and you are a possible future Prime Minister of Canada. My name is Naveed Waraich, and a long-time community worker since 1990s, and I'm also hosting a show. I'm a first-generation immigrant and a Muslim. I have been involved in many community programs and events to bring the community closer. Mr. Scheer, as a first-generation immigrant and having a pulse on Muslim community, I have a couple of questions and concerns that I'm hoping you as a visionary leader certainly will address. Mm-hmm. So about affordability, people are happy that the Conservative Party is offering to resolve for affordability. As you know, thousands of local jobs are based on construction industry, and with the halt of this industry, there will be thousands who will find it difficult to run their homes, let alone purchasing one. How do you see it panning out when you will become a Prime Minister, especially for the first-time buyers, and how would you ensure the construction industry will prosper while keeping check on the dangerous hike in housing prices?
Well, thank you very much for the question, and I really appreciate this opportunity to speak to your viewers about our policies. First and foremost, we have to recognize that Justin Trudeau's tax hikes have made life much less affordable. It's really increased the cost of living, and as you mentioned, it's threatened a lot of jobs in the construction industry. We are committed to reworking the stress test. The stress test has had a very negative impact on many aspects of the housing industry. We're also going to bring back 30-year mortgages for first-time home buyers. So that's going to make it much easier for many people to purchase a home. We're also going to prioritize infrastructure spending to open up new areas for development. That's a big part of the housing costs right now, is the fact it takes so long for new homes to be able to be approved and then built. So we're going to work with the municipalities to streamline that process, which means more affordable homes and more construction jobs. We're also going to cancel the federal carbon tax. And we know from the trucking industry to the construction industry, so many small businesses are hit hard by that carbon tax. We're going to scrap it.
Okay. I will start my next question with an example for fear-mongering politics. Immigrants from our one particular country are encouraging their extended families here locally to support one party, so their kids who are on student visas or work permits can seek the permanent residence here. That is very scary when there's usually a myth that Pakistan and other Muslim countries are treated differently when it comes to immigration policies. I am certainly fine with the best screening process, but as a Prime Minister, how will you ensure the fairness of immigration politics, equitable for qualified individuals and families, and favorable to spouses and families, including the parents?
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you very much for that question. It allows me to dispel some of the rumors and lies that Liberals like to tell about our party. We are a party that believes in immigration. We are an open and inclusive party. Under the previous Conservative government with then Minister of Immigration Jason Kenney, we had some of the highest levels of immigration to Canada in generations. By taking the opportunity like this to tell people that they shouldn't make their decision on who to vote for based on what Liberals say, because Liberals don't tell the truth, they break their promises, and they outright lie. As it relates to other countries in interfering or having an influence on our election, it's incredibly important that Canadians make their minds up. That the decision as to who is going to be the Prime Minister and the government of this country is made by Canadians, based on Canadian policies, based on the decisions that we're going to make that impact people living in this country. And that's why it's incredibly important that our national security agencies deal with this, look into it, protect Canadian and protect the integrity of this election. We believe that the immigration system must be based on fairness, orderliness, and compassion. When I speak to new Canadians and they say, hey, it took me 2 or 3 years to come to Canada, and I see someone cross over illegally in Quebec from upstate New York, that's not fair. My message to you is it is not fair. We're going to close the loophole that's allowing people to come into Canada illegally so we can prioritize resources to process applications for people who are coming to Canada legally. And there will be a path for permanent residency, for students, for temporary foreign workers. We're also going to ensure that there's a component for family reunification and to ensure that Canada continues to do its part to help with refugees. As it relates specifically to Muslims, I'm very proud of the fact that it was the Conservative Party of Canada that had the first Muslim member of Parliament. We value people from all over the world. In our party, we don't look at your faith, we don't look at your religion, we don't look at the color of your skin. We just look at, do you believe in freedom, in prosperity, in balanced budgets and low taxes? And if you do, then you're welcome in our party. And so that's our message. We're going to continue to be an open and inclusive party and treat people equally when they apply to come to Canada. So obviously there are certain, as you mentioned, screening measures in place. We do robust checks to make sure that people, but we do this no matter where people come from, no matter what country they come from. People will be treated equally under a Conservative government.
Being a Muslim, I have always been treated fairly and kindly with Conservatives. I also know that there are Muslims on the Conservative slate, including you just mentioned Salma Tawlajan. However, the perception of the Conservative policies is usually anti-Islam, anti-Muslim. And what will you do as a Prime Minister to address that issue so that more Muslims are attracted to the vote for Conservative, as I believe this is the only thing that is stopping thousands of voters to vote Conservatives?
Well, I believe you're correct in saying that there are so many similarities between Muslim Canadians and the Conservative Party. When you look at people who have come to this country, they want their kids to be able to grow in safety. They are very they believe in strong families. They believe in hard work, and those are all Conservative principles. So the key for me is to build those bridges, to send those signals, and to build strong links with the Muslim community all across the country. I've started to do that as leader of the opposition, hosting events on Parliament Hill for the Muslim, for people of the Muslim faith, visiting them in their homes and hearing from them directly to show the signal that we welcome everyone in our party, and we treat everyone equally, and we value the contribution of Muslim Canadians to Canadian society.
We hope to see the perception changes, and Conservative will work hard with the Muslims and some Muslim group and like-minded to ensure that the picture is more clear to them, because that is the very first thing we deal with when we go to the community. Thank you very much, Andrew.
Thank you very much.
It was really pleased to meet you.
Pleasure. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Where do you see our community is going with this election?
Well, our community is divided and they are supporting different candidates, which is all right, and that should be, but the good thing is that our community is becoming part of that political system, which we were not so actively involved before, but right now I see many people and young people coming in and talking about politics and trying to get into mainstream Canadian politics, which is a very good sign. Basically, if you look, the primary fundamental things are same. Everybody talks about freedom of speech, freedom of expression and liberty and freedom and good cause for all the citizens of Canada. But then there are things which are different and people go by different. For example, we had the dam function, and you were a part of that. We raised $300,000. All the members of the parliament were invited, including, I don't want to name anyone, but we know that all the members were invited. But there was threats from certain corners which went to all those people, and they said that you should not go to that dam function. And that threatening call went to, I wouldn't say threatening, but advisory call or whatever it is. They wanted Harpreet also not to go to that dam function. But Harpreet rose to the occasion. He stood like a man. He talked about it and he said, no, it's a humanitarian issue and I'm going to support that. So I have a lot of respect for him for this thing. And this is not the only thing. I've seen him many times. Harpreet is a very balanced person, well educated. You have seen his shows, how he behaves and whatever he's doing. So I am here for Harpreet. And I'm sure if any people have some reservations about Conservative Party, I'm sure people like Harpreet, if they go to and join Conservative Party, probably they will change the whole scenario. It's not going to happen in one day, and people can think differently about it, but I'm very positive. I've lived in this community for last 20 years. I have seen, you know me, I have interacted with my own community, Muslim community, other communities. We people are nowhere. We Muslims, we are not working that hard, but at the same time, if we are not coming out ourselves, at least we must send those people who have the guts and who can speak, who can stand up for themselves. If a person doesn't have any say, and if they cannot stand up, and if they melt under pressure, for example, Kashmir issue was here. Harpreet was the only one who spoke so openly, and I'm sure you were there, you interviewed him before also. Harpreet so openly talked about all these issues. It was not Kashmir, it was not India, it was not Pakistan. He was talking on some principles, on fundamental principles of human rights. So my vote is, although I'm not in his writing, but my vote is for Harpreet, and I am working. I am offering him all my support, and I'm glad that we have gathered some people who are there. And I think I can assure you, the way I'm thinking things, I'm seeing things. I have gone door knocking with him, and I have seen people, once they look at him and say, hey, we have already voted for him. So that's a great thing.
Another thing we're noticing, and you have a very good opinion about what you said about what happened in the dam fundraising. How come we have thousands of Muslim supporters in that dam funds who are not buying what you're saying that Harpreet was supporting them? They're still going to the other side.
Well, that's their choice, but I'm here to tell you the facts. This is how it is. Once we come out and we talk about Muslim issues and Muslims and blah, 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 then when we talk about it, then at least we should see who are talking about our issues, who are standing with us, who are supporting, I don't say the issues, who are supporting whatever is fair, whatever is right. So, I mean, everybody has his own, and I can't possibly force anyone to vote for Harpreet, but I'm here to give you the facts, the way I feel about them and the way they are. So if still somebody doesn't want to support him, it's good enough. It's their right. So,
and also there's another question. You know that Muslims were seen differently, than that they don't anticipate or they don't participate in elections. But we lost a couple of elections. We've seen the Muslims are coming out, with numbers and voting them. Do you see any change coming up in the election systems here? Do you see any candidate from one of the Muslim candidate comes up and take active part as a candidate? Do you really think that will happen?
Yeah, I think there is a change coming up, because when I started the newspaper here, and from that time, 2000, last 20 years, and we all have seen that Muslims were almost, they wouldn't vote even. What to talk about talking of politics, they wouldn't vote. But now gradually things are changing, and I think we are going through a evolutionary process where people have started realizing, and I'm sure sooner or later that a Muslim candidate is going to come out. And we have our problems, just like any other communities. All these communities have problems. You think Sikhs don't fight among themselves? They do. Hindus fight, we fight. So, but the problem is, our problem is that once we fight, we take those things to limits. And it's because of the personal grudges and personal differences that we start dividing the community. We don't understand that for a larger cause, you have to forego a smaller cause. Smaller cause is your personal, and larger cause is community. But what happens is that for our smaller cause, for our own satisfaction, for our own personal benefits, we forego the larger cause, which is the community cause. So I think, and I'm very hopeful, and I'm sure I should be seeing you, Naveed, coming up and taking part in politics and running for something. I'm sure that the way you have performed in the community and the way you are involved. You talk to people, you go around. So that is what politics is, to know what are the issues, what's happening. So people like yourself should come forward and get together and go to all the parties. It's not that you stay with Liberal Party or Conservative Party or NDP or Green only. No, go to all the parties. We must have our presence. We must have our representation in all the parties.
Definitely, and then as you've seen that most parties are even when you talk about Liberal Party, they have many candidates running in Ontario. And we don't see anything in British Columbia, even though in Liberal Party there were quite a few our own guys were running, head on. And it's unfortunate to see that BC is behind. What do you say to all three parties, what they have to do in order to get our candidate in? What's your suggestion would be for the parties?
No. We don't have to suggest to the parties. We have to suggest our own people. So come on, man, wake up. If you have guts, if you think you can do something, come out. Let's, And by the way, the Friends of Pakistan that we have formed, and I'm the chairman of that organization. In that organization, our main aim is to bring our younger lot, the kids who were born here, who have been going to school here. Myself and we people still speak with an accent. Though they understand, they know what is happening, they know the language, they know whatever, and it's high time that we must bring those youngsters into this mainstream politics. And I think we, in our constitution, this is our one aim, that we are going to bring the younger generation, and I'm going to, after this elections, I think we are going to, as Friends of Pakistan, the community and other people, we are going to do something in which we can bring the youngster lot who can come here, who can talk, and they can understand. And we have many people over here who had lots of experience about the politics here, how it is done, what is happening, So we can always take guidance from those, but let those youngsters decide for themselves. Let them take the show. Let them come front and let them do the things. And that is what I think we are. I hope that it's going to happen, and I'm very hopeful. It's not that we'll continue like this. I'm very sure that in the next elections we will have our own candidates. My point is that we must go out. Muslims should go out and vote for whoever you want to. This is the right time. Because once you vote, then your numbers, then people will understand that Muslim community is a strength. They have numbers. We have numbers, but we don't vote. So this is the time, go out, vote in pre-polls, which is now happening. Vote on election day. You must do that. And here I am telling you, because this is my personal experience, this is my personal conviction, that vote for the best person. Don't look at the party. And the best person, in my view, is my friend Harpreet Singh, standing right here. He has shown his strength. He has shown his boldness. He has shown his wisdom. He is a man of words. He's a man of integrity. He's a man of honor. And if you believe in these values, then please go out and vote for Harpreet Singh.
My name is Zahid Mahil, and I would like to urge all the Canadians, please go out and vote. And there is a certain reason that I'm asking, because it's very, very important that you make sure that your vote is been counted out there, and your vote won't be counted if you don't go out and vote. The reason number one is I want you to vote because this is how the governments allocate the budget for each constituency. And if you're not voting out there, they will not know that how serious you are. And those things later on, when they budget, each government, they budget how they can budget for the school in that area, how they can do for some other community work that is needed to be upgraded in your area. And if you're not voting, that means you're not serious about your area. And I think you should respect wherever you live and choose wisely who is the best representing your area. There are many, I know. And don't choose somebody who is good only for clapping. in the parliament. Choose who is the stronger voice for and stronger representing your area, representing you in the parliament, representing your issues in the area. And I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Harpreet Paji.
Thank you.
I know you are very a good person and you always work very, very hard for us and
Thank
for
you.
all, and you are the best representative, I believe, and I truly believe in you. And I tell you, make sure that if you don't fulfill, we have a choice.
Absolutely.
After 4 years.
Absolutely.
We will choose somebody else.
Absolutely,
as well.
absolutely.
And we are honest with you.
It should be.
All we expect, you honest with us as well. You are take care of our whatever promise you make with us, because we're gonna. The changing is coming. The change is coming, and we are very closely looking our representative, whatever the promises they're making. We don't want any backbenchers or they just the clappers. We want our voice, strong voice in the parliament this year.
Right.
And let's see what
Absolutely,
happens. Wish you all the best.
Thank you very much. So first of all, thanks for reposing faith in me, because it's only the trust which helps us develop further. And we have been blessed to come to Canada, a beautiful country where we have a cultural mosaic of all different religions, different ethnicities, and that is what we are proud of, that we represent everyone. And I have been blessed to have wonderful friends like Nusrat Hussain, Zahir, or Naveed Waraich. Question is, what is our future? Last week there was a debate over there. Justin Trudeau was asked a question in this French debate that will you legalize the hard drugs? And his answer was not right away. What does that mean? So probably they are thinking that once they form the government, they will legalize the hard drugs also. I have been to over 18,000 homes where I have talked to people, and everybody is concerned about the increased drugs which are available outside our homes, outside the parks, outside the schools. We have to live in this community, and we are very proud as Conservatives. We have said we are against any kind of drug. As far as NDP is concerned, Jagmeet Singh has already said that he's going to decriminalize all the drugs. We do not want to live in a society where our children have easy accessibility to drugs. So I promise you, I will be a strong voice in Surrey Newton. I will do my best with your support that we should not have these drugs legalized, and we'll put an end to it. Second thing is economy. The way things are going right now, it's really very precarious for all of us. We don't have the jobs. As far as the real estate is concerned, our mortgage brokers, our real estate agents, our developers, our builders, or our tradesmen, they're suffering right now because there is no new construction coming up. And I'm proud to tell you that our announcement, which has been done by Andrew Scheer, in this we have said, we have come out with 4 points which have been welcomed by the Canadian Real Estate Association and Canadian Home Builder Association. In this they say that your plan is the right plan. Yesterday we came up with our platform, and the former parliamentary budget officer, as all promises are accounted for, has welcomed it. So we believe to put you ahead of us so that we can put more money into your pockets, and you have the right to spend it the way you want it. So I assure you, as far as economy is concerned, fiscal prudence is concerned, we are the best choice for you, because we need jobs for our younger generation. I'm fed up of listening to this thing from parents who tell us that they have to send their children abroad for professional studies like medicine, law, or engineering. What is happening? Why are we not talking about these issues in the parliament? And again, I assure you, these are the issues, and I'm fighting this election on issue-based politics. And I seek your support, not that I supported you in the back. This is my duty. As a journalist, it was my duty that anybody who came to me, I brought forward whatever was needed to be told to the people. As a parliamentarian also, I assure you one thing. Of this 27 years of experience in journalism, I only have integrity with me. And that is why I am running this election only on issue basis. Whatever your challenges are, we as a community can solve it. And again, a promise to you is, on the 21st we win this election, on 22nd, I will be calling it the first town hall meeting where we'll sit down, talk about issues that are of concern to us, and start prioritizing where we need to start. Enough of talks, the time has come now to deliver, and we will only be delivering these things if we become role models for our younger generation. And for that, again, for your support, I thank you. And one last thing, I believe in God's will. Whatever will it is, I'll accept it, because we are here just to serve. And leadership is not about any title. If God wants me to serve, I will be present over there. But only thing I can assure you is my integrity. I am not promising anything else. As he talked about, people are fed up of the politicians because before elections they promise a lot of things. Especially in Surrey Newton, what we are saying, the low type of politics where we are just throwing mudslinging against each other. This is not the kind of politics we want to have over here. We have to inspire a younger generation, and that is only possible if we remain above board and we fight the Canadian way. There are elections happening in other ridings also. Just now I was coming on the road and I saw one candidate with 10 cars having big hoardings and displaying like as if in India or Pakistan we are doing that kind of rally. This is a country where peacefully people choose whom they want to talk. Let's not go into this war of only putting up the signs where we are tearing the signs of others and putting ours. Which way are we heading? If we really want to bring about the change, the only change will begin if I start changing myself. And there, when it comes to politics, honesty, integrity and ethics, these are the basic values, and that is why we came from India and Pakistan. Otherwise we were well off over there. We came here because the system is good. But if events like SNC Lavalin happen where politicians start interfering, then things will go beyond our hands. So thank you very much once again for coming over here. Let's all work together to make Surrey Newton better and safer, and that is only possible if you come out and vote, and I will be accountable to you. Thank you very much.